Thanks, Greg. What a great day. Exciting time for our university, our department, our basketball program. I'm just fired up. I think a lot of people over the last few days have seen me and said, man, you've got a little different step. And so I'm really excited to welcome our next coach. But I wanted to say a few thank yous. Obviously, got to thank President Smith and his wife Connie, and through the process, I've kind of kept him in the loop, and he's been a really busy man traveling around and has trusted us in the process. Talked to Regent Hawks, who is our athletic affairs chair, and had just great conversations with him and also kept him in the loop, and he was very supportive. And then Erin Keto, who led the search, really appreciate Erin and everything she does for our program, and then and going through this process together. Thank Greg and his team putting the press conference together, and all the social media and everything that we have to do to promote and support Coach here. And they've done a great job, and I know it's a lot of work. And that team actually, Coach, I don't know if you know this or not, but Greg's whole team will be at the Final Four in Cleveland here in a couple of days to help work that. And so that's pretty neat to be a part of that as well. But I also wanted to publicly recognize Keisha Blanton, our interim coach. I put her in a really tough spot. Getting rid of a coach in the middle of the year and then having to step up with that staff, and really you're short staffed for the entire time, and so I really appreciate. She was first class, handled everything so well, great to be around, a lot of energy. She always put the student athletes first. They felt that, and just really appreciate her. Appreciate Katie and Amy and Porter as well in that process, and just want to support them as much as I can moving forward, and just really appreciate them. I obviously want to thank some of our senior staff. Andy Rowden's here. Andy, appreciate you, and Dan McLean and Stacy McMullen, who also helped through the interview process. And we just got a good team, good family, and really excited. Greg got to meet with our candidates, and so did Alex Hensley from our compliance, and Elizabeth Conrad from academics, our student athlete support services. So just really appreciate all their help as well. And then meeting with our student athletes, right, our basketball team over the last 3 months on what we were looking for, what they wanted in their next coach, and then just entrusting me to be able to make the right decision on their behalf, and finding the right person. It's a little unusual to start a journey to find a coach starting in December, and then turning around and making a hire in March. And so it's a little different, because normally you have like a 2-week window to put all this together, and instead we spent the last 3.5, 4 months. We created, Aaron and I worked on a list and tried to map out who we wanted to keep an eye on. Coach was one of the first ones on the list, and she doesn't even know that. But we were looking at her along the way, and hopefully not all the lights go out, Greg, but we'll figure it out. But the things that just meant a lot in the conversation when we were talking to different groups through this over the last 3 months was, what are you looking for from our alumni, from our fans, from former coaches, to our team. I had a lot of people with a lot of opinions on how do we best manage this. And so the things that came out that I just thought I'd mention was, very much relationship driven. Somebody that cares for the well-being and connects with our student athletes. Somebody of high character and high integrity as well. Somebody that has a connection to the MAC or the Midwest or Michigan, and we certainly have that. And focus on student athlete experience. Somebody that's a teacher, development on skills, and somebody that's going to promote Eastern. That's really important to us, that not only our basketball program, but Eastern Michigan as a whole has experience, been there and done that. And then the last thing I have is build a culture, and I think we talked about culture a lot during the process, And so she's checked a lot of these boxes, and just really, really excited. You know, she obviously has the MAC roots, being at a couple of other MAC institutions, which we won't hold it against her. We'll just look at that as learning the MAC. And just really excited to have Coach Nusseibeh here, being from Ohio, working at those different institutions, and getting to know her and the passion that she has for basketball, for her student athletes. She talked about her team at Canisius and how she cares for them. And I'm really confident that she's the right person to bring us back to win a championship. And just a couple of points for her, and then I'll introduce her. She has 13 years of Division I coaching experience. She's been at Holy Cross and Bowling Green, then she went to Manhattan, and then to Miami before getting the job at Canisius. So 5 of those years were in the MAC, 3 at Bowling Green, 2 at Miami. So 3 years as a head coach. One of the things I like to talk about, and I told the team this, is that she went to a program that had won 5 games in the last 2 years, and then turned that around to where this year, 3 years later, she's won 17 games. And when I went back and looked, they hadn't won 17 games in over 15 years at Canisius, and got to the semifinal of their tournament. And so those are things that matter when you talk about experience and knowing that's been there and done that. She's done that, and so we're looking to do that, and maybe even try to help her speed it up to less than 3 years, but it will be a process together. So I'm excited for her and her staff to get around our student athletes, coaches and staff. So please help me welcome Eastern Michigan's 9th women's basketball coach, Sahar Nusseibeh. I got a little jersey here for you, so we'll get here and we'll get a quick little photo.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Scott.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. I'm excited.
Appreciate your words.
Yep.
Hi, everybody. First off, I want to start by just saying how grateful I am to be in this seat. I consider this opportunity an honor and a privilege, and I couldn't be more excited to be sitting here in front of you all today. I want to start with a few thank yous. First and foremost, the man to my left here, for this incredible opportunity, Scott Wetherbee, our Director of Athletics, our leader for EMU Athletics, and his team, Aaron Keto, playing a really, really large role in this search, and the fact that they're entrusting me with this means everything. So I'm grateful for this opportunity, and I thank you both very much, as well as your leadership team. I'd also like to thank President Smith and his administration for the support in this decision to select me as the head coach for Eastern Michigan women's basketball. President Smith and his wife Connie stopped by just yesterday, my first day on the job, came into the office, and I think we sat there for about over an hour talking about everything and anything that had nothing to do with basketball, and just told me a lot about who they are as people and the fact that they're leading our institution. I couldn't be more excited to work under President Smith. I'd like to thank my former AD, Bill Maher at Canisius, and his administration for allowing me the opportunity to get my foot in the door 3 years ago at Canisius as a Division I head coach. That was everything to me, and that's something I'll forever be grateful for. I'd like to thank Coach Blanton and her staff during the transition period. As Scott said, I'm sure that wasn't easy, but her commitment and her investment to this program and to these young women, I'm sure means everything to them, and it means everything to me. And she is exactly as you said. She's top-notch, first class as a human being. I'd like to thank Coach Castro for the years he put in here at Eastern, for his work and his care in what he does. His reputation is incredible in the women's business, and it's for good reason. So thank you, Coach Castro. I'd like to thank my agent, Brian Stanchek, who made the trip to Ypsilanti. Surprised me. I didn't expect him to be here, but it means a lot that he's here, and it says everything about you, Brian. Thank you for all the support you've given me and the opportunities you've helped me create. Lastly, I'd like to thank my family. and my friends for their unconditional love and support throughout my coaching journey. Coaching's a lot, and they sacrifice a lot for me, and they continue to love me through it, so I'm grateful for them. As I said earlier, this is a privilege. If you were to ask me what my dream job was or is 5 to 10 years ago, I would tell you I'm living it today. This is my dream job. This is something I've wanted for the past 13 years since I entered coaching. So I'm incredibly grateful for this opportunity. I'm also ready for this. I'm ready to fully commit and work to help build this program up on the court, in the community, and in the classroom. Our staff is ready to help build these young women up as players, as teammates, as leaders, and most of all, as people. We are ready. If you were to ask any women's basketball program what they wanted, the answer would all be the same. We want to win. We want to be successful. We want to cut down nets. We want to go to the big dance. Eastern Michigan women's basketball wants that too. I believe the difference and the separator is in the how and the who. How you go about your daily work, how you approach it, how you execute it, and who you do it with is what separates you and what allows you to have the opportunity to achieve that you work so hard for. I'm a firm believer that when you have the right people who are in alignment and who are believed into the how, who are believed into our process, you can accomplish extremely special things. I believe that culture is lived out in every single thing that we do, every single thing that we think, and every single thing that we say. It's the environment, it's the energy, it's seen, it's heard, most of all, it's felt. We will live our culture at all times. It will be who we are. There are 6 words that will encapsulate Eastern Michigan women's basketball. Feet in, arms out, eyes up. Feet in is about being 2 feet in, fully committed, 100%, no question. We're not 1 toe in, 9 toes out. We're not 9 toes in, 1 toe out. We've got 2 feet in this thing, every single one of us. It's also about being where our feet are, being fully present, which is a really big challenge if you're 18 to 22 going through college, because I know at 37 it's a challenge for me sometimes. But it's not worrying about what was or what will be. It's being laser focused in the here and now, because the present is the only thing we truly have control over. Arms out, servant leadership. If you were to ask me where my heart lies, that's where my heart lies, is in servant leadership. We will teach our women how to seek to serve and help others and those around us, whether it be our fellow teammates, our sisters, whether it be a classmate, whether it be someone in the community of Ypsilanti or beyond their time here at Eastern. We will develop them into servant leaders who seek to help others. Arms out is also about vulnerability. It's about developing a relationship of trust with your sisters, knowing that when you struggle, you're not alone, and that you can reach out and someone is going to be on the other end to help pull you out. That's something I expect them to live in the locker room and outside in the community. Eyes up is about respect. It's about looking people in the eye when they're talking, making them feel seen, heard, valued. Whether they're President Smith, whether they're a custodial, whether they're an 8-year-old child, we are going to give everybody the respect that they deserve with our eyes up, and we are going to expect the same in return. The last piece to eyes up is about presence. And this is something that I'm extremely passionate about as a female coach who works to develop young women. I want to have our women carry themselves with a confident presence in every single thing that they do. That doesn't start and end on the hardwood. They will be confident on the hardwood. You will see that. They will carry themselves with confidence on campus. They will carry themselves with confidence in the community. And the ultimate goal is to teach these women how to carry themselves with confidence and believe in themselves when they go out into the real world. Feet in, arms out, eyes up is Eastern Michigan women's basketball. We start there, we stay there consistently. We will build a program of sustained success that makes a name for ourselves in the MAC and beyond. We will live out feet in, arms out, eyes up in the classroom as well as the community. We will understand the commitment and the investment in what it means to be a true student athlete. We will strive to give our best to our schoolwork, to our professors, and to ourselves because we deserve that. We will be actively engaged in our community, and we will seek to form connections and relationships beyond our women's basketball family, within the department and in the community of Ypsilanti. People on campus and throughout Ypsi will know who we are beyond just a basketball player that plays for EMU. They'll know us because we're so much more than basketball players. We have incredible young women here, and I want them to form relationships where people truly know who they are and how special they are. We will serve our community regularly and understand what servant leadership is all about, arms out. Lastly, we will open our arms and our doors to our former EMU Eagles, the women who have come before us, the women who have put their blood, sweat, and tears and have left their legacies here at Eastern. We will know them, we will honor them, we will bring them into our family, welcome them with open arms, and develop extremely strong relationships with those women. Because once an Eagle, always an Eagle. All of the above, everything I just shared with you is where we start. Because once we understand who we are and how we will live out our culture and our standard off the court, the transition to our identity and how we compete together on the court will be seamless. We will be confident basketball players. We will be a confident family. We will be a confident team. So, who will we be on the court? I know a lot of you guys want the basketball piece. We will be relentless. We will be resilient. We will be together. In terms of our offensive play style, fast, fluid, free. Fast, we're gonna go up tempo. If we can advance that ball as quickly as possible, that's the name of the game for us. Momentum is our friend. Fluid, the ball will be moving, we will be moving. Tough to defend when you're moving constantly for 40 minutes. Free, I believe our coaching staff's job is to teach the game. We teach the game before that ball even tips. We give them a blueprint, we infuse them with confidence, and then we trust our women to execute when the lights go on. It's a green light, go mentality. I want our women playing free with that green light, with all the confidence and with zero fear. Defensively, we're gonna run a solid system with intentional disruptions spliced in based off of who our opponent is. We're going to pressure the ball, we're going to protect the paint, and we're going to take pride in finishing possessions. That will be Eastern women's basketball on the court. That will be what you see. It will be an exciting and fun brand of basketball, but who we develop these women into off the court, that's going to be what you feel. And that's what lasts. And that's where the true impact lies. And that's how you build programs that sustain success and cut down nets. Eastern Michigan University women's basketball will be feet in, arms out, eyes up, green light go. All we have to do is put our foot on the gas and make it happen. We're ready. Thank you.
Awesome.
We'll take some questions, and then I'm sure we'll do some one-on-ones, but who would like kick us off. Tom, we always know you got a question.
Yeah, Coach, for you, what do you think this rebuild process is gonna look like initially?
Yeah, I think people are everything. So right now, my focus is building our roster. Before we can do anything, we got to know what pieces we have. One thing we're going to do today is I'm going to watch our current roster play a little bit. So I have to see what we have in terms of skill set, in terms of strengths, deficiencies, and my job is to figure out how to plug and play and find out ways to strengthen our weaknesses and see what we have to work with. And put together a complete roster. The one thing I noticed when I met with the team yesterday is we have a lot of guards, so we're going to need some interior post players, and so I'm going pretty heavy when it comes to recruiting post players right now. But the first piece to this rebuild is finding the right people. I think on the court, but then also it starts with all the off the court. I think for me, it's finding the right women who are going to believe into how we want to do this. Because our process looks a lot different than most other teams, and it's got to be a fit.
How do you think your time in the MAC that you had before will benefit you? I think a lot of people step into this conference and they don't realize the grind and how good the basketball here really is at a conference level.
I have so much respect for the MAC, for the talent, for the coaches. I'm telling you, this is my dream job, and for a reason. To coach at this level and to represent Eastern in the MAC, there's nothing better for me, and it's going to be a true challenge to our coaching staff, because I feel like I may try to steal a MAC coach, but I don't know if that'll happen. So I'm going to be bringing in coaches who have not experienced this level and this conference and this intensity and this talent. But I'm excited for them to learn. I'm going to bring in hungry coaches, good coaches who are more than capable to prepare our team to be successful. But in terms of this conference, I know full well how tough the MAC is, how great the coaches are, and how talented every single team is. Every night it's a dogfight. Every night. It doesn't matter where you stand in the standings. I mean, you're going down to the final possession, who can execute, who can get a stop. I'm getting excited just talking about it because I think that's what coaches live for. It's those moments. So I'm really excited for the MAC.
Blake?
Coach, what led you to choose Eastern Michigan University? I know you talked, just about your experiences and things like that, but what ultimately led you to say, I want to be a part of this program?
Yeah, Blake, great question. I'm going to thank this man for the opportunity. What really got me was on this interview. I was able to come to campus and connect with so many different people in our department. And there was such alignment in their language and their mentality. And I think any successful organization, whether it's an athletics department or a women's basketball program, I think you have to have alignment. And it was as clear as it could have been. I mean, every single person I'm talking to is genuine, is excited, is about winning and being successful and taking care of these student athletes. The resources we have to provide these student athletes is phenomenal. And so for me, it was a no-brainer, easy decision. I'm just very grateful for this opportunity.
And then I know you mentioned that you got to meet President Smith yesterday and, kind of sit down with him. And, I know you mentioned you didn't really talk much about basketball, but what was kind of like his message to you, just talking about Ypsilanti and Eastern Michigan University?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I got out of my connect with President Smith and his wife Connie was just all the opportunity that lie here. The tremendous people in Ypsilanti and the opportunity that is there to start building relationships and connecting with our community so far beyond the campus. And we didn't just talk about Eastern Michigan, we talked about the area and how we can take advantage of connecting with the area so that we can put Eastern women's basketball on the map and help represent this institution in a great way.
Yeah.
What do you think are your best selling points when it comes to recruiting of Eastern?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I'm still learning everything. So I'm in day 2, so I'm still getting a lay of the land. But the two things that shine out to me are the people and the resources we have for our student athletes. I think the people here have already proven themselves second to none. When my hiring went public, I can't tell you how many people from Eastern reached out to welcome me. And not just a generic congrats. It was, I'm such and such from this department, let me know how I can help. Let me know what I can do to make your transition smoother. My first hour in the office, I think 5 people popped their heads in to introduce themselves and just offer any support and help that they could. And I think that says everything about the people here. And the way I think of places are the people make it. And so I'm excited to be surrounded by such a great group of people who want to be there and support, who want to see us succeed, and who are in this with us. So I would say the people, and then just the resources we can provide our student athletes are absolutely tremendous.
Tony?
Yeah, you talk about the people and the resources being selling points. What are the biggest challenges in this job?
I would say this conference is tough. You know, I'm going to state the obvious. This is a tough conference. Traditionally, the MAC is in the top 10, 11 in terms of conferences nationally. So I think recruiting in the Midwest, I think there's a hotbed of talent, but I think you're going up against a lot of other really established programs and established institutions. I see that as a challenge, but not a threat. I'm excited for that. I think our staff's going to be excited for that. When I was at Canisius, there were challenges, you know, similar to how do we recruit against our conference foes, and you just buckle down and you show who you are and you find the right people for you. But I would say the fact that this conference is what it is, and recruiting against this conference is the challenge.
Do you have your staff yet, or are you?
Still working on finalizing my staff.
Anything else?
Scott,
Yep.
you took your time with this hire. When did you zero in here? Maybe you talk about it a little bit.
No, that's okay. I did talk a little bit about, you know, it's unique because it was a 3-month, 4-month search, and that, you know, gave us an opportunity to create a list of people that we wanted to look at. And then really once the season ended, you know, Aaron and I really started to hone in on, okay, now when can we start having conversations with people? Because, you know, each coach is different depending on if they're an assistant and their team's going on the NCAA tournament, or if you got a head coach and they're going postseason or not in postseason. And so you're going through the list, and then we're figuring out, okay, who's actually interested? Like, we might have a list, but are they interested in us? And so then we go through on the sheet and know who are we green lighting and who are we red lighting, and figuring out who's in and who's out. And so really it was at the end of our basketball season, as everybody else was going to Cleveland and we were not, that was a pretty good indicator. So as I drove to Cleveland, I went to Cleveland, I told Stan this and would tell Coach here as well, I did it to punish myself for not getting there on either side. And so I drove to Cleveland and made calls to and from Cleveland as well, and then we set up some others and went through that process, and then really narrowed it down, and then got down to finalists and moved pretty quickly. So it took, once we really got in, probably about 2.5 weeks or so, not even. It went pretty quick. But it's funny to hear Coach talk about some of the things, the priorities in the 6 words. When Aaron and I heard those on the Zoom, we got off and we're like, we just got to hire her. Like, she was really impressive in going through it. And I think I told somebody, I said, I think she had Aaron at feet in. So we're all in with it and just real excited about all the things that we've discussed, and she hit on a lot of it. At the end of the day, I want to work with somebody that I enjoy being around, and I enjoy being around Coach. And so I think that our student athletes and our staff are going to enjoy it as well. I'm as excited now as I've ever been about a hire.
Well, I think the light goes.
Yeah, lights out. Oh, back on.
We'll certainly do some one-on-one meetings at once. Appreciate everybody coming today.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate everybody. Cool.